Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for dropping by our session. I'm Bill Crowley. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Hyperwallet. I'm going to take you through a couple of slides about our company and the payments problem that we solve. And then Blair is going to jump into the APIs and take you through a tour of that. So, Hyperwallet is a global payouts platform that empowers businesses like digital marketplaces, on-demand or shared economy platforms to enable them to distribute funds to participants in their ecosystems. People like sellers, drivers, homeowners, distributors, and so on. And we can do that pretty much anywhere in the world. So if we drill into sort of the payment ecosystem of digital marketplaces, you'll find that there's really two payments that take place. The first payment is called payment acceptance, and that's where the buyer pays for the good or service that the seller is offering through that marketplace. Payment acceptance has advanced a lot in recent years, and we attribute that to some innovative technology companies that have built some really developer-friendly APIs built on some well-established payment rails. And what I mean by that is Visa and MasterCard, American Express, Discover. These rails make it easy to accept payment pretty much anywhere in the world because a credit card, the form factor is the same no matter where you are. Flip to the other side of the ecosystem, the payment ecosystem for marketplaces, and that's where you do payment distribution, otherwise known as a payout. And that's where the seller who has earned funds for what they've delivered, goods or service they've delivered, that's how they get paid. And that's really the side of payments that Hyperwallet sits in. Now, the challenge that we're solving is that there really isn't a cost-effective global rail to distribute payments the same way there is for payment acceptance. This is a great infographic that kind of describes the problem. So if we're doing traditionally doing global payouts, you would use a international wire. And that's usually done by banks that sort of form a partnership called correspondent banks to basically move money between their different banking systems around the world. The problem is that it's not cost effective, and by that windy road, there's not much visibility or transparency in that transaction. A very real scenario is a $200 payment originating in the US. The fees that get assessed will look like this. The sender will be assessed a fee of $10 to $20 by their bank. The receiving bank will assess another fee to the recipient of $10 to $20 called the lifting fee. And then there's participants, banks along the way that take a little piece of the action through foreign exchange. So it's very likely that a $200 payment can end up on the other side around the equivalent of $140. So that's real. That can actually happen. So obviously that's not a great way to deliver money around the world. Now, if you drill into domestic payments, people get paid all the time. There is a cost-effective and efficient way to deliver payments domestically, and that's called the local clearing network, or ACH, if we're here in the US. So if you can replicate that around the world, that would be a very efficient way to move payments around the world. However, the problem is that these networks are domestic, and there is no global rail like Visa or MasterCard that sits on top of them. To make the problem even more complicated, every country has different bank account format, different clearing rules, different compliance requirements. So it makes it very challenging for a company that needs to expand beyond one country because they're going to have to go integrate with all these different banks, find partners, bring all that complexity into their system. And really, that's the problem we've solved. We basically have gone around the world. We've integrated into different banks, partners, and we brought all that complexity of different account formats, business rules, network rules, fees, compliance into our platform. And that enables us to deliver funds in a low-cost manner in over 200 countries. And then on top of that, what we've done and why we're here today is we've exposed our platform through modern REST APIs that make it really easy for any company that's, whether they're domestic in the US or domestic in another country or cross-border or global, to plug into our platform and deliver payments worldwide. And finally, my last slide before I switch over to Blair is, I've talked a lot about bank deposits. A key principle of our company is that you need to offer payees choice on how to get paid, and that's why we offer things like prepaid Visa and MasterCards, checks delivery, believe it or not, cash pickup around the world, and more innovative things like paying directly to your debit card. So with that, I'll switch it over to Blair, and he can take it away and show you the APIs.
Thanks, Bill. Hey guys, my name is Blair Olenek, and I'm the software architect at Hyperwallet. And I've been involved in financial technology for the better part of 10 years now. During that time, I've done everything from cut code to design systems. And during the last little bit, I've been working with a talented team of software professionals whose raison d'etre has been to expose the inner workings of the Hyperwallet platform via an open API. Now, the Hyperwallet platform currently processes north of 50 million individual payouts per year. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of heavy lifting that goes on with that. You've got to go into all the countries that you want to pay out to and establish relationships with local banks. And then you've got to send in the legal team and deal with all the compliance and regulatory requirements. Once you've got the business end figured out, you've got to actually go and automate it and do the integration and continue to maintain it. At Hyperwallet, we've been doing this for many, many years, 15 years to be exact. So you can imagine our network has grown quite large over that time. And that network allows businesses to be able to pay out to anyone, anywhere in the world, in a very cost-effective manner. And it allows those businesses to give the people that they're paying out to the choice on how they want to receive the funds. Like Bill said, it could be a bank account, a prepaid card, a check, a cash pickup. Now I'm going to go and take you guys on a live demo of what an integration into our platform might look like. And for that, I'm going to go over to portal.hyperwallet.com. It's portal.hyperwallet.com. And you can go there too. Okay, thank you. And you can go there as well and sign up for a sandbox account right now, and that'll give you immediate access to start an integration. Now, I've already got an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And what you see when you log in is called the dashboard, but really this is the mission control for your integration. It has all the information that you need at a high level. For example, how much funds I have to pay out in, how many users I've registered under my program, how many cards they have. And in addition to that, we've got a timeline down here which indicates the number of API calls that I've made over the last little while, as well as the number of 400 and 500 level responses that I've gotten back over the last few days. Now, this is very valuable information when you're trying to assess the health of your integration, so we made sure to put this front and center for you. Now, no developer portal is complete without a decent set of documentation, and we've got that integrated as well here. And as you can see, we also offer up some SDKs, so if you're in the Java, Node, or PHP ecosystem, it'll simplify your integration. Now, truthfully and honestly, you'll probably want to read the whole documentation set to undertake an integration, but if you're a little impatient and you just want to sort of go and POC it and just get going, we've got a tutorial as well that's available. And it's really 4 steps to this process. The first being actually having an account. The second, creating a user, the person you want to pay. Then creating the transfer method, the means with which they will withdraw the payment. And then execute the payment itself. So first of all, let's choose our program that we're going to make a payment for. And we're going to pay out to a user under this program. So I'm just going to go and auto-populate the values here. And creating a user is nothing more than setting a bunch of profile information into the system. But we take this information to be like gold. For us, getting the user information and getting the account information correct allows for the payment to actually be nearly guaranteed to go through when we get an instruction. We currently have a 99.98% success rate when we do get a payment instruction, and that's all because of the pre-validation that we do in steps 2 and steps 3. So let's go ahead and submit this, and you can see we get a 201 response, so our user has been created. And what we get back is a universally unique identifier for that user. So we can go and use this now to go and create the transfer method for him, as well as make a payment to him. So of course, you could go and do the same thing and do another REST integration against the transfer method. But we'd rather offer you up a more simple integration option, and that's what we call our transfer method widget. And you can most easily conceive of this as being similar to an OAuth 2 integration or tokenization. And everybody's done this. You've always logged in with Facebook on some web application. And what's going on there is Facebook's giving some code to that application, and they're putting that on their web page. And when you go visit it, a button is there that's going to load up a Facebook form to authenticate you. And Facebook's going to send back a token to that web application. And that web application is going to call over to Facebook and say, hey, did he really just authenticate? Yes, he did. Here's some pertinent information about this user. This widget works in exactly the same way. We give you a piece of code that you go and embed on your web page, and then Hyperwallet will load up a web form. But in this case, it's to collect the transfer method. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a United States USD bank account. Just pop in some information here. It'll be a savings account, and we'll go with my bank account number because I like to get paid on the company's dime. And what you get back here is that token. And you go ahead and you make a call to the Hyperwallet platform and you say, hey, did this user just create a transfer method based on this token? And in this case, Hyperwallet responded 201, yes, they have actually created that bank account. So let's go ahead now and actually make the payment. So you can see here on the right-hand side, we have all the rest information available for making a payment. I'm just going to give this a nice round number and make it $50. And success. So in 3 easy steps, we've actually made a payment through the Hyperwallet platform. We've created the user, created the transfer method, and created the payment. So there's one last thing I'd just like to cover, and that's our Go Live feature. So not too long ago, one of our first clients using this API came to us and they said, hey, we're having problems making payments into Central America and some Asia Pacific countries. And we went back to them and said, hey, well, you know what? Take a look at our sandbox and let us know. This probably will work for you, but give us an assessment. And they came back a couple days later and they said, perfect, this will work. We'd like to start making payments tomorrow. And so, we had to actually go and implement something that allowed people to go and get a set of production credentials right once they've completed their integration. So that's it, guys. I am very thankful that you were able to come out today, and I hope you learned a little bit more about the difference between payment acceptance and payment distribution, and as well as how easy it is to integrate with a single platform that can pay out to anyone, anywhere in the world. Thanks.